Hi, my name is Jennifer Sapp, and today we'll be discussing Lev Vygotsky and his zone of proximal development. To better understand his zone of proximal development, or ZPD, we kind of need to get a brief history of his upbringing and what was going on in his life and around his life at that time. So I will be presenting a PowerPoint that will be coming up on the screen. So Lev Vygotsky is this gentleman here. He was born on November 17th, 1896 in Orsha, Russian Empire, or what is now Belarus. He was a descendant of a Jewish family, which actually caused him to be limited in certain educational resources, as again, it was not a favorable thing to be considered Jewish at that time. So unfortunately, this did impact him, but he did use it as a motivational factor to continue. So he was homeschooled until 1911, where he then left to attend Moscow University, where he studied law. When he had completed his time there, he ended up becoming a college professor where he studied and taught on logic and psychology. Now, there was a lot going on around him in society and in the culture that brought about a lot of diversity. And those three of those major events include the October Socialist Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and World War I. Now, he was impacted and influenced in this environment. So it actually led to a big breakthrough for him when in 1924 he got to speak at the the second All Russian Congress of Psychoneurology, and he discussed a little bit about Pavlov and his environmental influences on behaviorism. And this actually led to him being invited to join the Institute of Experimental Psychology in Moscow. Now, from there is where he developed the zone of proximal development. So to better understand zone of proximal development, I do have a little guide for us to start looking at, but let's start first with the definition. So for Vygotsky, it was the distance between the actual developmental level as determined by independent problem solving, or what a student is capable to do at their own level, what they've mastered. And then it's the level of potential development as determined through problem solving under adult supervision or in collaboration with a more capable peer. This could also be known as a more knowledgeable other, or an MKO, someone who has an understanding of it and is able to support the student to mastering it. Now, as I was saying, we're going to be looking at a drawing. There we go. We have this to help us better understand the zone of proximal development. So in the center, we have our yellow circle, and this yellow circle is going to represent that actual level of development or tasks that a learner can do without assistance. They do not need someone to come step beside them to better support them. Now, when you move out of that circle, though, you have that light teal color, and that's their potential level of development. Students are able to successfully complete any type of academic materials with the support of a teacher, a more knowledgeable peer, someone who can assist them in solving it to accuracy. And then finally, we have that dark teal zone, and that's going to be information that the student is incapable of doing with a more knowledgeable other or by themselves. It's just well beyond their grasp of learning because they obviously need certain steps to accomplish before they can get to that area. So to better understand this, let's talk about it in an example. So say you're teaching math to your class and you have a student, John, who has successfully showed that he can do addition all by himself. He has mastered it. He is getting hundreds on his assignments. He's doing great. So naturally, the next level that you will take him to is in subtraction. So subtraction, unfortunately, though, is something he doesn't know well enough to do on his own, but he's able to do it with you or maybe a peer who's already mastered subtraction. So we're in that light teal area of trying to get him from where he is to where he can potentially be. Now, if for any reason you chose to skip subtraction or try to teach something like multiplication or division with that, that would then fall into that dark teal zone. Multiplication, division, math beyond addition and subtraction, it's going to be way too difficult for him to successfully accomplish by himself or even with a more capable other. So he cannot reach that zone as of yet. Doesn't mean it won't become his potential, it's just not something he can get to. So this is something to consider when you're creating your lessons, trying to even plan for ahead, is what areas are your students currently at? What's their potential level? And ensuring that you're not trying to push them into a zone that they're not capable of yet, making sure you hit all those key steps. So there you have it. That is Lev Vygotsky and his zone of proximal development.